Conventional wisdom says the average person needs to be told something 7 times in order to remember it. I'm slightly ahead of the curve because it only took me 4 instances to realize someone I thought was a friend wasn't. I brag, but when you get to the end of this, you'll realize I'm actually a moron of the highest order. Here's the story. A childhood friend of mine and I took similarly different career paths as adults. By that, I mean we both chose art. He chose a respected label under the art umbrella, musician, and I chose mouth clown, or comedian. This means we rarely, if ever, saw one another, as we both tour for a living. And we live in 2 different cities in 2 different states, which doesn't help. Anyway, years ago, I was performing in a small Midwest city. At my show, I came across a flyer promoting a performance of his. Apparently, we had missed one another by a week. He was there just before I arrived. I took a picture of the flyer and texted it to him. "Looky, looky," I wrote, "ships in the night." His response came several days later. "Yeah, I saw a poster of you while I was there." I cannot lie, I found it odd that my first response was to take a picture and text him, while he had seen a picture of me and done nothing. I wondered why that was for a moment, and then shrugged and forgot about it. A year, give or take, passed, and during that time, my wife and I started our family. I noticed my friend was performing in my town, and even better, on a date I was actually home. Unfortunately, I was busy the night of his show, so I asked him if he'd like to get breakfast the next morning. I wanted him to meet my daughter. He responded that he couldn't, as he had to get up and leave for his next gig. The thing was, according to his website, his next gig was 3.5 hours away, and the show didn't start until 8 p.m. I was confused. He didn't have 30 minutes for breakfast in the morning when his next gig was less than 4 hours away? Something was amiss. Cut to 2 years later. According to his monthly newsletter, something I subscribed to, he was coming to my town for a 3-day music festival. After learning this, instead of reaching out to him, I decided to sit back and wait. He knew I lived here. He would be here for 3 days. Would he contact me even if to say, "Hey, I'm in town, too busy to hang out, but maybe you could come to one of my shows?" The festival came and went, and I never heard from him. That was several years ago, and to this day, I'm unsure how I feel about it. I never felt sad or angry because it was so gradual. It's not like we were on speaking terms and had a blowout fight and then we're done. But it was off-putting. The idea he could come all the way to my city and not even text me? I didn't like that. Here's the kicker. Earlier I said I was stupid, and I am. I saved the most important time he shrugged me off for last, because otherwise it would have given everything away. The very first time he declined to hang out with me should have let me know everything I needed to about our friendship. But I am both dense and probably in denial, which is never a good combination. Anyway, after getting engaged, I invited my friend to my wedding. His response, and I remember it clearly, was, "I don't think my wife would appreciate me taking one of my rare weekends off to drive to the wedding of a childhood acquaintance." Did you catch that? I didn't at the time. Acquaintance. That's what he thought of me. I thought of him as an old friend, where he thought of me as an acquaintance. And he was straightforward about it. He said it right up front. There were no lies, just an honesty that I ignored. He was telling me right then and there the boundaries of our relationship. I was just too blind to see it, and too deaf to hear it. At the time, I remember thinking, that makes sense. Nobody likes weddings. I don't like going to weddings. Why would he want to hop in a car and drive several hours to one? I had invited him because I wanted my friend there, but I completely understood his not wanting to travel on his weekend off, and I completely missed the significance of the word acquaintance. I'm not alone in missing signals. The book, He's Just Not That Into You, was a bestseller because people don't take cues in the manner in which they're intended. The truth is, people will tell you exactly where you stand in their lives. It's up to you to listen. If you liked this short little nothing, I have a full audiobook available wherever you download audiobooks. Audible, Google Play, Apple Books. It's called We Are 100 and is a fast-paced thriller. If nonfiction is more your speed, I have several printed works available on Amazon. Just enter my name in the search bar, Nathan Timmel. Speaking of that name, that's my website, nathantimmel.com. You can find both a 1-hour comedy special and a t-shirt store there. That's all I have, so thanks for listening.